All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Full Throttle Training. Man, we are almost done with our free week of live trading and training. Even though it's Tuesday, I say like free week. But man, we started Sunday night, and we will end tomorrow morning with AR, Accelerated Retirement. What a wild day in the S&P 500 as well. We're going to debrief that here in a little bit. And then I'm going to offer it up to you all what type of training we want to do tonight. Tonight is like, hey, you get access to 8 live training sessions, and this is a sample of one of them. So I'm going to be a benevolent dictator tonight and actually let you all pick which training module you want to do tonight, because I know we have an Iron Condor on out to Friday. We're going to do AR, Accelerated Retirement, tomorrow morning, where I'm going to show you how to get long-term bullish on something, because the past couple of days I've been a little tactically focused because the market's whipsawing around, and that is a target-rich environment. And I'll show you some of the snipers from today. Really excited for what's going on here. My mission objective was to show you how to profit while others panic with incoming volatility. I mean, Sunday night, I welcomed you aboard with all this stuff. And then over the past couple of days, the VIX has started to come alive, the volatility index, as the market pulled back. But we saw a pretty wild swing in the market today, which was awesome. And I'm glad we took profits in our bearish double vertical. I'm going to debrief all this stuff tonight. Real quick review. We did our welcome aboard brief Sunday night. Weekly options we did yesterday morning. We did the primary brief this morning. Right now we're sitting in academic training. And then tomorrow morning, last free brief. It's called AR, Accelerated Retirement. You are going to have, not are going to have, you do have some homework. I want you to look over underneath the handouts right now. Underneath the handouts, you will see a PDF that says Healing CREI Investor Deck. I want you to download that, because that right there is my commit criteria for being long-term bullish in the psychedelic space. That entire investor pitch deck is, you got to read it tonight. You're going to want to read it tonight because it's epic. Let me just pull it up real quick so you know what I'm talking about. It's over in the downloads, so go over there in the downloads, and where is it? Let me find it. Healing REIT. Full disclosure, I own 200,000 shares of this REIT. You have got to read this. We're going to talk about it in AR tomorrow, but this is your homework for tonight. You need to go through this, because this shows you why you need to be long-term bullish on the psychedelic space. It goes into the healing. It goes into the study. This is it. I'm not going to steal my thunder. Just read it. It'll take you 10, 15 minutes to look at this. And it's awesome. So, and let's see if it dropped. It was supposed to drop right at 7 o'clock. Let's see if it did. Let me refresh the No Fallen Heroes page here. It didn't. Let me take a look. It's supposed to drop right at 7. The podcast, let me text my social media lady. Don't see podcast on the YouTube page yet. So during this brief, she's going to answer that text and get it up here. I talked about it this morning. I did a podcast with Rachel Newer. I gave you this link earlier today. Listen to it if you are working out or in traffic. Let me give you this link. But like I said, if you want to look at my ugly face, it should drop as soon as my social media director looks at the text that it didn't drop. It was supposed to be automatically dropped at 7 p.m. on our YouTube page. But let me click refresh just in case. Okay. Maybe it's a cache issue. But anyway, why am I rambling about this? Because, good. People already listened to the podcast. Again, you don't need to see me or Rachel if you listen to it, but some people prefer a video podcast. They want to see us talking. So as soon as it drops, I'll give you this link. But this is your homework because I want you to come tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the final free brief, Accelerated Retirement, because this is the only sector, folks. It's sad to say, but when I pick up my binoculars or I look at my radar scope in my F-18 Trading Hornet right now, and I look 1-2 years out into the future, somebody tell me what to be bullish on. AI is going to kill us all. I mean, I've seen the movies. I'm not even going to red team it. We'll talk about this in the morning. But folks, the healing space is, I think the math is in the investor deck there, but it is in a, before I get into the money, let me lead with this. I started this foundation, the No Fallen Heroes Foundation, to save and change lives. We're doing it. I just got off the phone with a guy who's joining Lifetime. Welcome aboard, Turbo, who actually is considering attending the end of October retreat we're going to do in Colorado. He's like, hey, man, save me a spot. And I'm allowing him to, instead of the Max Afterburner lifetime fee, I'm going to allow him to donate that to the foundation. So it's a win-win. But anyway, I don't feel guilty at all talking about the healing space and making money. It's funny. I posted something on my Instagram, like, hey, join me for a free brief to talk about psychedelics. And people like, how dare you try and make, I'm like, throttle the fuck back, man. I am saving and changing lives with the foundation. But if you can, there's money to be made in this sector. I told you Sunday night in my welcome aboard brief, I'm bipolar, right? I'll tell you how Wiz feels and about stuff. And then Gordon Gekko. I'll turn into Gordon Gekko, put on my $10,000 Armani suit. Greed is good, right? So, and I use my money the majority of what I make, I throw into the foundation to help people out. So I ain't got no problems with talking about how we can make money in the healing space. Boom. That's a win-win, right? If you can save people's lives or change or make people better and you can profit, come on now, forget about it. So save me all the sham bros out there like, oh, we really shouldn't. I get it, man. But listen, so healing should be free. We'll talk tomorrow about MDMA and Rachel. So Rick Doblin, who runs MAPS, he's like, nuh-uh, I have the patent or whatever it's for. He's like, this is going to be as free as freaking possible. Healing, I was going to say should be free. It is free. You can't patent a root and you can't trademark a toad, right? So Big Pharma obviously is sweating in their jeans here with what's coming. But think about it. You aren't going to be, when, not if, MDMA is legal for therapeutic use in about a year from now, you aren't doing MDMA in your doctor's office, folks, on a examination table with wax paper. It needs, first of all, it needs to be a bigger space because there has to be 2 people in the room when you're doing an MDMA journey, and it's got to be therapeutic and healing and a nice place and everything like that. The infrastructure does not exist right now, and that's what this healing REIT is all about. There's a bunch of TGO folks who got into this healing REIT as well. It's closed, and Cody and Daniel are looking for the next round of funding, $100 million round, September, end of this month into October. So I hooked up as many people as I could. I got a shit pot of money in this thing, but here's what I'm getting at. This is your homework. Look at this for tomorrow. Listen to the podcast, or when this drops, when Brianna answers my text, I'll get you the recording for the podcast. All right, homework complete. We're done with that. Let's get airborne with what we need to talk about tonight. Really excited. Everybody, have you had fun, right? I mean, trading and investing, this should be fun. We're having a blast here, folks. As of me jumping on the air, there are only 21 memberships left. I won't include Turbo, who's going to do a lifetime membership. That doesn't count. He's jumping the fence with both feet to join the Max Afterburner lifetime group. So it's technically still 21 in full throttle. We've had a great couple days. Beautiful sniper shot. I think it was after the brief. Yeah. So I'll show you that. And we closed a double vertical trade today that I put on last Wednesday. So you all didn't see that unless you were a member. 1,500% profit in a week, $3,000. I also, yesterday we closed a Target bear call spread, an Amazon trade we debriefed, and a one-day Amazon bear call spread. I fired it yesterday afternoon. I closed it this morning as soon as the market opened. It was a beautiful profit. And then we'll talk about the S&P 500. We have a range-bound iron condor trade out to Friday that is looking pretty good. So, yeah, it's episode 72. That's you can listen to it. I'm waiting for the video to drop. She's got these things automated, like, hey, 7:00, it's going to drop and blast out on social media. Ready, fire, aim. So we're going to close the doors, folks. 21 memberships left. We're actually looking a little ahead of schedule. Usually, there's an initial flurry of people like right now. Then there's like a dead zone in the middle, and then as we start filling up or closing the doors, that's when people like get off the fence. So, again, I shared earlier today this very nice email I got from a potential new member that said, "Hey, man, you're the first company I've seen give a week of full training and live support for no charge. It means a ton." The reason there is no charge is because I have absolute faith and confidence in what I do. If I didn't have faith and confidence in what I do, Sunday night, the welcome aboard brief would have been my complete sales presentation and asked you to join, even though a lot of people did join Sunday night. But between now, Sunday night and today, I've shown you live in my personal and model portfolio accounts making money. I've already paid for 2.5 years of your Full Throttle membership. I've done it live. So this is the point in the presentation where I go, what are you waiting for? So we laughed. I don't need to, these are all, you've seen this stuff before. Even though I know there's new folks in here, I'm going to ask you, since a lot of these people have been patient and been with me the whole time. If you are new tonight, which I know there's a lot of new folks since one of my other strategic partners emailed for me today, this is the replay page. Please go watch the replay page. The primary brief today was awesome. I debriefed how we made $4,300 since in a day and how we closed a trade that was up 1,500% in a week. So there's the replay page. You can watch the weekly options brief where we took a nice sniper shot, $1,200 in 24 minutes. And then the welcome aboard brief from Sunday night is right there. Okay. Jay, yes, we are. Well, let me show you. I have trade briefs Monday through Thursday. Absolutely. So Monday through Thursday, let me just show you, Jay, what the normal flight schedule is. For Full Throttle, I usually don't show this slide, but I'm going to show it just so you see everything I do here at TOPGUN Options. So every Monday, let me just put the whole flight schedule out here. Every Monday, folks, is solo Amazon. Every Monday at 10 a.m. is solo Amazon. Okay, it's not, look at the note down here at the bottom. It's not part of Full Throttle. Full Throttle is to the right over here. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Jay. So very short answer to your short question is yes, I trade every day live except for Friday. Friday is my foundation day. I got my podcast. I take Friday off, man. I usually go flying. I take donors flying in the backseat of our fighter jet. I do my No Fallen Heroes podcast. That's my put the ladder down day. So I trade on Friday. I mean, I'll be in the Max Afterburner Lifetime Group or the Hunters. If I'm sitting here on Friday doing foundation work, I'm shooting trades, man. But there isn't a live trade brief on Friday, if that's what you're asking. But yes, I trade Monday. For members, I trade Monday through Thursday, 10 to 10:30, 11. Not all day, man. I want to live. It's so funny. There are other places that they have their trade rooms open 8 hours a day. I would rather die. I would rather get my teeth drilled than sit here for 8 hours and trade. There was let's go look, this morning, let's go look at the S&P 500 today. So what time was that? So this morning, and no offense to people who sit here all day and trade, so look at this. What time did I fire that? That was this morning. So this morning, folks, I fire after the brief. See, if you were a member, you got this trade. If you're a free person, you didn't. I shot a bull put spread this morning that made 75%, $1,600. If you guys didn't notice, I went and got my haircut today. So I look like a hippie this morning. And because I'm flying out Thursday afternoon to my buddy's retirement on the USS Midway, Captain Brian Ferguson, who was the technical advisor for Maverick. So I'm going out there for Ferg's retirement, 1 o'clock on the USS Midway, and then a party at Ferg's house. Thank God I do not drink that much anymore, because I'm sure that is going to be a nightmare. Jay, but our trades sent out by text and email. Trades are sent out by text and email that are covered in the live trade briefs. I'm glad you're asking this, Jay, because look, this trade, let me scroll up. Where did I fire it? So at 11:30 this morning, Jay, I fired this bull put spread at 11:30. I think we got done our live trade brief this morning at, I don't know, 11:15 or whatever it was. As soon as that brief ended, I was sitting here getting an email together, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to fire a bull put spread. So fired it at 11:30, went and got my haircut, and then closed it at 146 for $1,600. So the answer is no, that is not sent out via text and email because it was outside of a brief. So Jay is actually, I'm glad you're asking this, Jay. You're coming up with the whole reason for why we did what? The investment clubs. So good question, Jay, because maybe I've been too clear on this. Ladies and gentlemen, so on the left side of the fence here is our training. What you're doing right now, Full Throttle is over here in training. Text and email alerts. But outside of those live trade briefs, when I say thank you, good night, try the veal, and I close a brief at 11, anything outside of a live trade brief, folks, is shot in the investment clubs. Okay? Obviously, it's it's cheaper to be in Full Throttle, but I'm giving you the option to do both. There's that $497 monthly option, Jay, where you can kind of test both. So you can straddle this fence. Okay. Is that clear enough for everybody? So text and email alerts do go out on trades that are in the model portfolio. Okay. You'll get a text alert from these model portfolios. But as I just showed you, if we're not in a live trade brief, I'm trading with people in the investment clubs, the Max Afterburner group or the Hunters. Okay. And obviously this is what the Hunters looks like over here. Okay, David. Oh, you know what? I forgot to, well, there you go, David. I forgot to post the primary live trade brief on the member page. I just posted it on the free person page. So current members, if you're in here, my bad. I need to post today's brief on the replay page. I have Full Throttle on the brain. So sorry about that, David. So it'll be posted shortly on here. And here's another example of why you want to be in the Hunters, because I live in here, right? I live in here, or I live over here in the Max Afterburner Lifetime group, right? We have 2 threads over here in Lifetime. This is where we post all of our intelligence and our commentary, and then this is the trades only thread right here. What goes in there? Trades only, right? Because a lot of people are like, hey man, I can't. We had just one thread before, and people were like, I can't sift through all this stuff to find the trades. I'm like, problem solved. Here's a trades only thread. Okay. So Jay, do you understand that? There are text and email alerts sent out based on what's going on in our live trading sessions. But outside of the live trading sessions, you got to be in the Hunters or the Max Afterburner, the Lifetime. Clear as mud. And tomorrow, folks, if you're not ready to join, Max Afterburner, I'll give you the link for Solo Amazon. It's $97 a month, but I kind of, the confused mind says no. Let me brief, Full Throttle, and then if there's any stragglers who like want to, go do Solo Amazon, you can knock yourself out. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. This slide obviously is wrong because I haven't updated it yet. What's the primary live trade brief up to year-to-date performance? So here's today in the primary live trade brief model portfolio. In our S&P 500 trades, we made $4,600 today. That's pretty nice. What's our year-to-date in the primary live trade brief? Year-to-date, 276. If you'll allow me to round up, 277. So I don't think I updated this slide since Sunday night. So we've seen what, nine grand in profit in our S&P 5 in that primary portfolio. So all these numbers aren't current. They've gone up since I took screenshots to prepare for my brief Sunday night. William, when we become a member, do you do sniper trades every Monday through Thursday? No, William, I do sniper trades Monday through Friday, baby. Like I just said, just because there isn't a live trade brief on Friday, I'm still trading, folks. Like if I'm going flying on Friday, I've been sitting in the hangar going, all right, there's a nice sniper shot. So I personally trade, William, Monday through Friday. I mean, and not if I'm traveling or, Thursday when I'm hopping on an airliner to fly out to California, I might not. So yeah, exactly. So I get it. So yeah, even though there's not a live trade brief, I'm still firing. That's why, one more time, you want to be in the Hunters or the Max Afterburner. Let's just stick with the Max Afterburner. I'm sorry, the Hunters for now. So yes, if I'm shooting sniper trades on a Friday, it goes in here. So again, let me just show you, and then we'll get into our academic training. If you do the annual, I don't want a black pen. If you do the annual or the Hunters monthly in the middle here, you get access to the Hunters, right? 80% of current Top Gun Options members are sitting right here. And then eventually they upgrade to lifetime, but that's a separate brief down the road. So this is cost effective, folks. If you do this, the $497 for a year, that equals that. Don't do that. Well, as a businessman, I'd love for you to do that. That ain't me. As Wiz, do the annual, man. Do you get the 50% discount and do the annual, or stay in here for a year? That's fine with me. This option is for, I want access to Full Throttle Tuesday through Thursday, and I want to check out your investment club. This is a couple month option, man. Do it for 2-3 months and go, all right, he's crushing it. I'm going to upgrade over to here, or start in here. I think most of the 21 members so far, yeah, I just looking at my chicken scratch here, most are annual members. There's a handful of folks that are going to try it out for a couple months in here. Okay. Now, this is the cheapest way to get airborne here. You get access to the live trade briefs Tuesday through Thursday. You get access to the 8 training sessions. We're going to do a sample one right now. The only thing you don't get with the $295 a month is obviously access to the investment club. This is kind of the training option. Like, you know what, Wiz? I got my training wheels on. Here's your flow. This to this to this. If you're kind of newish. But if you're ready to go, that's where you go right now. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you the link to this. It's easy to remember. go.topgunoptions.com/ft-hunters. All right. I'm glad you all asked those type of questions so I can clear them up, because it seems like you all are mixing around to be the final 21 people before we shut the doors here. Any other questions on what we're doing here? Quick reminder. Do me a favor, everybody who's joined or is about to join, watch the Getting Started brief. It's a quick video on here's where stuff is. It more or less just explains everything I just said to you, but probably in a quicker, better format. So this is the Getting Started video. I think you can watch it even if you're not a member. So you can kind of, if you don't feel like asking a question right now about something, get in there and watch the Getting Started video. It'll hook you up. Daniel, do the Hunters get to see the Max Afterburner trades? Daniel, it's the same thing. I literally, if you haven't seen me do it in a live trade brief, I copy and paste. I literally copy anything that I post over here. And when I drop a trade in here, I literally right click, copy, and go to the Hunters and paste it. The biggest difference to your point between Max Afterburner, first of all, it's a lifetime membership. You don't have to pay for anything ever again here at Top Gun Options, just an annual maintenance fee. So you got that, right? There's people that do annual memberships for a couple of years. Are like, son of a bit, why didn't I just join the lifetime? I'm paying $29.95 every year. I should have just exactly. Anyway, the biggest difference, Daniel, between lifetime and this Hunters is this Hunters right here is web-based. It's right here on our Top Gun Options website. Okay. So if I am mobile, they don't get, like if I'm sitting in the hangar and oh, it's still processing, I'll text you. Internet being slow. All right. It's a large file. So Daniel, the Max Afterburner group it's an app. So if I'm sitting in the hangar and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to fire a trade right now, it goes right in there. So there's a delay between me getting home or getting in front of a laptop to post this trade in here. Okay. If I'm sitting here trading, the hunters get it instantaneously with the Max Afterburner group. Otherwise, they got to wait until I get in front of a laptop. Okay. And the same thing, like when we get done the brief tonight, if I'm sitting on the couch and a deep throat buddy of mine says, dude, I just read a buddy of mine at the Fed gave me the speech and here's what it's going to be, that gets dropped in here immediately. I've been at football games on a Saturday where I get some intel and it goes right here in the group me. There's a delay to get to the hunters. Okay. So does that make sense? Awesome. All right, good. It makes sense. So yeah, the hunters is a great deal. I called it like a while ago. It was like Junior Afterburner or something like that, and that sounded dumb. So the hunters was my last F-18 squadron, so I called it that instead of JV or something like that. But the Max Afterburner is the way to go. Down the road, eventually, I don't even want to. Let's not even talk about that. Okay, now, yeah, man, it is awesome. Thank you, I appreciate that. Again, people don't do this, folks. I have to. My buddies, hey man, can you come present at our multi-speaker event? I'm like, let me guess. I have 42 minutes from 1 to 1:42 to talk about what I do at Top Gun Options. What's the point? I mean, I go and do those things just so people hear about me and maybe it'll spark their interest to come my way. But folks, this is why I do this. I hope this takes a lot out of me too, because there's hundreds and hundreds of new people asking a ton of questions. But how else can you sell your training? By actually showing people the training and what you're doing live. It's funny. Sometimes with, especially this week with full throttle, looking at a bunch of closed profitable trades, I almost, want to suck. Like, hey man, but it is what it is. All right, here we go. Because I need to eat some pizza. My wife makes a awesome chicken pesto pizza, and she's like, I'll make it for you after your brief. So I ain't sitting here all night. I'm gonna let you all choose. Let's go find the training schedule, and I'm gonna let you guys pick, and gals. You all, there is your sample. Not sample. That's the full throttle training that you're going to get access to. It's worth almost $1,000, man. You all pick which on here. We looked at a double vertical today in the live trade brief. We closed it for 1,500%, $3,000 in a week. But we also currently have an iron condor on the S&P 500 going down range. So you all type in the chat box. What type of training do you want to see tonight? And real quick, for all the folks sitting here going, dude, I don't even know what a call or a put is. That's why you join. That's these sessions up here. This is a market. These are stocks. These are options. This is a call. This is a put. Ladies and gentlemen, on your screen right now is a building block approach. Session 1 isn't, this is an iron condor. You'd be like, what the heck? I'm not airdropping you into Afghanistan with a rifle going, good luck. Nah, man, this is training. So you all, I'm seeing a bunch of typing going on. But let me go show you the market real quick today. Because what happened today? There were some people who were a little worried about the iron condor that we have on, correct? What did the market do today? It literally made a round trip. First of all, let's just go look right here. Look at the S&P 500. Right there, folks. Look at this drill bit. Look at that mass. You see this right here? This was a big red thing today, and what did it do? Absolutely nothing. We had a violent sell-off that completely recovered. And I just showed you that we made $1,600 off of it. Look, let me wait 3 days today. Look at today, folks. It does not get any better than today. Look at on your screen. This is a sniper dream. Here's the open, and we imploded. Right here, I shot the bull put spread. And what did it do? Whoosh. We essentially closed today, folks, where we opened. Look at that. That has profit written all over it. Here's the live trade brief this morning. 10 to 11-ish. We were in our live trade brief in here. What did I do live? I showed you the bearish double vertical trade from last Wednesday that we had on, and I said, close it. Go watch the replay if you weren't in the brief today. $3,000, 1,500% profit since last Wednesday. We got out of it, and what happened? The market turned around. That was perfect. We also covered what? The range-bound iron condor that we have on. What did I tell you this morning from 10 to 11? I said, if you're a little worried about this trade, you're in the wrong business. It's Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, whatever time I said. I'm like, this is the discipline I'm going to teach you. If you look at a little bit of red in your brokerage account and panic, you're trading too many contracts or your risk is too high. I sat here smoking my Lucky Strike cigarette going, it's Tuesday morning, man. This trade's got until Friday. What happened between me closing the brief this morning? The market went all the way back up to where the market opened today. So the bull put spread of the iron condor is looking absolutely perfect. Let's go look at that trade right now. Maybe we'll talk about the iron condor. Let's go look at that. Exactly, Daniel. Daniel's like, just like you said this morning, it did go back up. Look at that. All right, look, everybody voted or typed in there, but let's go look before I go survey what you all did. Here's the iron condor out to Friday. I told you this morning live, I'm like, I ain't closing this. I'm good. I'm not worried. It's Tuesday morning. Look at this. There's our football trade, right? It is oops, let me open it a little bit. I call this a football trade. These are the uprights. You see the green? There's the bull put spread. There's the bull call spread. This is kind of our football uprights. As long as by Friday, the S&P 500 is above whatever the short put is, 40, whatever. 4,500 and 4,400, more or less. We make $3,900 this week. On what risk? It's right there. $3,600 in risk. If you didn't want to risk $3,600 this week, you don't do 15 contracts. You are the pilot in command of your own portfolio, not me. So by Friday, don't forget tomorrow is massive. We got Jerome Powell, baby. Jerome is on the flight schedule. The press conference. Don't want to beat a dead horse. Please, I'm begging you, watch the replay from today, from the primary live trade brief today to get my take on it. So, Jay, was this sold 1 week out? No. So let's go look. The double vertical, Jay, was not supposed to expire. It does expire. Or, well, it doesn't expire for me anymore. I'm out of it. It was out to Friday. I put on that bearish double vertical, Jay, last Wednesday in expectation of what? Jerome Powell. Okay? Double verticals right there. SPX. This was last week. Okay? So I put on the double vertical last week in anticipation of the Fed meeting. Okay? But to be honest with you, Jay, I think we kind of had the violent move today. Look at that. You see that drill bit all the way down? This was violent. The double vertical requires violence. We got the violence. And I'm starting, I'm redoing what I did in the primary live trade brief. I don't want to do this, but let me just be clear. I heard from a couple little birdies, and I started to believe this on my own, that with the government, did you see the debt? Here's some deep throat stuff that I just posted in the Hunters and the Max Afterburner. Look at this. I posted this at 5:28 tonight. I got this from somebody who knows. 212 to 214. House GOP rule to debate a military funding bill fails. Oh, no. The House adjourned with no path forward. Republicans are fighting over messaging bills with no chance of becoming law. Zero chance. It will get worse when they have to deal with the Senate 11 days to shut down. So, using my thinking brain and knowing Jerome Powell, do you think this dude's going to bring superheat tomorrow? The dude's not an idiot. He's sitting at his home in Alexandria or wherever right now going, okay, if I bring some heat tomorrow and we got a government shutdown in a week and a half, holy crap, we'll be down at that 100-day moving average in the blink of an eye. So, a lot of rambling going on as to Jay asked when we put that on. We put it on last week for this reason. And my commit criteria, Jay, for getting in that trade was what? Go watch Jay, become a member, go watch the double vertical training, because I said violent. We get a violent move to the downside between now and next Friday, close it. What happened? We got a violent move between now and next Friday, and I closed it. Okay. Eric, I agree. Eric said no, but inflation is still up. Eric, you're preaching to the choir, my brother. I want Jerome Powell to raise rates tomorrow. Ain't going to happen. We're burning from inflation, folks. If you were here a year ago, I'll never forget this morning. I forget which day it was, but breaking news, inflation is at a 40-year high. The last time inflation was that high, my sister was still alive. That should tell you how long ago that was. I looked into this camera and spoke into this microphone. I'm like, okay, what time is the emergency Fed meeting and press conference where they announce a full interest rate increase? Cricket. They didn't. Why? Because we're in America today. Everybody gets a trophy. We can't do an emergency. Paul Volcker, Alan Greenspan would have been like, holy shit, 40-year inflation, emergency press conference. We're going to, this is our job to tamp this down. We can't, Wiz. If he had done that, the market would have shit the bed. So I don't give a shit about the 1% people in the market. I care about 99% of Americans who are burning to death from inflation. Didn't happen. So, Eric, you are preaching to the choir, man. He should raise rates tomorrow. Folks, we exactly another 25 bips. Folks, if you were here last week, we looked at the CPI print and the PPI print. Here's what inflation looked like. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Democrats. And now it's back down to what? Where Donald Trump was. And we bounced. Inflation ain't dead, folks. So trust me. It's he's got more work to do. Enough talking. Here's what I'm getting at is exactly, John, cranberry sauce. Exactly. Jan 1st, $1, now $1.60. Imodium, 2 for $8, now $13. Exactly, man. You guys, you get it. You all are burning to death from inflation, but Jerome Powell and the Fed is worried about what? God forbid the stock market goes down. All right, let me scroll up here. Double vertical, synthetic stock on Amazon, diagonal synthetic, double vertical, synthetic. Oh, man, it's a coin flip. Yeah, isn't it just transitory? Yeah, Rick, you got that. Pull this leg and it plays jingle bells. All right. I hate being the benevolent dictator sometimes. Technically, ladies and gentlemen, we did a double vertical brief this morning. You know what? We will do double vertical because I was going to give in to the synthetic stock crowd, but I'm not going to give in to the synthetic stock crowd until when? Tomorrow. Synthetic stock, ladies and gentlemen, is what? Long-term bullish. That brief is tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're going to do synthetic stock during AR tomorrow. Done. Filled. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the best double vertical training ever known to man is about to happen. So buckle up. Here we go. What is a double vertical, man? First of all, If you believe something, you're ready for this? Wiz, 11 days, dude. The government's most likely going to shut down. Republicans are idiots, so are Democrats, but they're going to have a deal, man. They're going to end up, it'll be ugly. It's ugly right now, but guess what? If you think the market's going to go up and have a relief rally, yay, Joe Biden's going to sign the budget thing and cats and dogs living together. If you think something's going to go up, the S&P 500, what do you immediately at the same time also believe? You don't have to type it. I'm going to tell you that it's not going to go down. I'm going to let that sink in. If I think the market's going to pop because we do get a budget deal, even though how much I want the government to shut down forever is raging inside me, it's not going to happen. If I think we're going to have a pop, I also believe it's not going to, say it with me, drop. But before we get started, I like to tell people you need 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic, right? No, you need 3 reallys. What do I mean by that? Really, really, really. I am really, really, really bullish, or I am really, really, really bearish. I'm trying to drive home the point that, ladies and gentlemen, to do a double vertical, you need a violent move in the direction that you think. You get a violent move in the other direction, you got 2 trades that are going to go against you, okay? So, warning, Will Robinson, I am old enough to use that reference, Lost in Space. Just about everybody in this room is old enough. 3 reallys, baby. So, last week, I had them with, and look at this. I remember doing the double verticals last week. CPI, hot on Wednesday. PPI, hot on Thursday. And me looking at the market going, this ain't making sense to me. And with our members going, the market's going to care that inflation has ticked up and the Fed's not done. It might not be right now, but I'm putting on this bearish double vertical because my commit criteria is strong. Friday morning, boom. Yesterday, today, boom, boom, boom. I got the violence. That's why this morning, shameless plug, go watch the replay. We closed it out. I'm like, you know what? Jerome might be nice tomorrow because of government shutdown and not want to spook, and we get a rip your face off rally. So here's what we can do. Already showed you that I closed a bearish double vertical from last week. A bearish double vertical or a bullish double vertical, folks, is just 2 trades on top of each other. We'll build one together right now with the same strategic mindset. Last week, I put a ceiling on it. We sold a bear call spread up on top. When you sell something, what do? You bring in money, man. You sell your house, you bring in money. You sell a car, you bring in money. When you sell something, in this case, it was a bear call spread. We did what? We brought in cash, baby. I turned around with that cash from the bear call spread and I bought a bear put spread, which is a debit spread. I essentially financed the bear put spread with the bear call spread. I'm cheap, baby. If you're going to do something in the options market and come out of pocket, you're a fool. You show me a trade you want to do that's a debit and I'll turn it into a credit. That's silliness. Why? Unless you're just, Wiz, I'm buying some lottery ticket calls or some lottery ticket puts. I still think you're an idiot if you're doing that. That's just, why? In the options market, you can sell something around it to help pay for it, folks. That's what we're going to do right now. So, 11 days, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just draw a line right here. I think Jerome's okay tomorrow. He's obviously not going to. If he raises rates tomorrow, the market goes to 0. People will be stunned. There's like a 99% chance he's not. If they did, it ain't going to happen. But anyway, here's what I'm getting at. I think, Kevin, we're probably going to have a week. I'm going to cover this tactic, but we're going to keep this, you need to have a trade journal. You need to be writing this stuff down. Let's say we're going to have to go out a couple weeks. Here's my commit criteria is Stupidity ends, or actually, technically, it doesn't in Washington ever. Stupidity around this issue, the shutdown, will end, and we will get a relief rally. Not only will we get a relief rally, but hopefully a Santa Claus rally. Kwanzaa, winter solstice, Chanukah, whatever you celebrate. So here we go. Let's go out to, let's give this trade some time to work. October 6th. The government technically shuts down at midnight on Saturday, the 30th. So if they're going to do something, man, they got their times of short, right? We're going to know that last week. This time next week, it's going to be funny. You got to join, folks, just for the rants and all the stupidity. We're going to make money off stupidity next week. But let's go out the 6th. Let's go out to October 6th with S&P 500 options, which is what and again, folks, I'm assuming you all have just a basic knowledge of options. If you're sitting here going, I don't even know what the hell an options chain is, shameless plug for the full throttle training. Here's an hour on an options chain, expiration, options. Again, I'm assuming mid-level intelligence knowledge. So let's go out to the expiration date of October 6th. You could go out to that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm going to give this trade some time to work. Okay, that's 17 days. If you believe that, here, let me bring it, let's go over to this account. I don't know why there isn't any options pricing. That looks a little weird. Let me go over to this account, options. Sometimes after hours, folks, they do stuff, and I want to make sure they ain't updating anything right now. Let's see if there's options. Uh-oh. That's not good. Let me log out of my brokerage account and log back in because I am seeing all zeros for options pricing. Sometimes, this is why I started doing full throttle training during the days now. Let me log back in. eTrade.com, TGO, the primary account we'll go look at. That's not good if we're looking at all zeros right here. Let's go. Let's launch that in a live account, and let's launch the model portfolio. Is anybody else in E-Trade? Are you seeing, Rick, are you seeing that? Maybe we just needed to exit. Oh, come on, guys. No options, right? Let's go to a different name and check it out. Yeah, it's this is E-Trade, not Thinkorswim. Let's go to SPY. Okay, something's up with the SPX options. I'm glad I looked. All right, this sucks. I'm gonna have to do SPY, and it makes my skin crawl. Ugh. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Okay, SPY. But here's an Obama teachable moment. Do not trade SPY. What? I heard Do not trade SPY. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pay for your full throttle membership right now. Do not trade an ETF, ladies and gentlemen, that has an index. Why? Potentially, I'm not, let me hedge. I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not your tax attorney. I'm not your CPA, and I don't play one on TV. However, I can tell you that Uncle Wiz gets better tax treatment trading an index over an ETF. You will thank me. You're welcome. I guarantee you, I just made you a shit pot of money. Write that down and either call your broker or your accountant. So I do not trade SPY. I do not trade What's IWM, folks? Anybody know what IWM is? It's the Russell ETF. Do not trade the Russell ETF. Trade the actual RUT. RUT. Okay? Whatever the Dow thing is, the Dow versus the Dow ETF. Already thank you. Exactly, Dave. David's like already thanking you. Exactly. Somebody else just beat me to it. The other reason why you should never trade an ETF if it has a corresponding index is because the ETF settles in shares. If you have no idea what that means, become a member. You're going to get it in the Full Throttle training. The index settles in cash, which is a quadrillion times better than settling in shares. So I'm glad, see, that's a God moment. There's no such thing as coincidences. I'm glad the SPX options aren't showing prices right now, so I could cover this massive learning point for you. If you're a current member, you know this. I never trade SPY or any of those ETFs. You trade the index. I'm begging you to write this down. And if you don't believe me, Google it, call your broker, talk to your accountant, assuming your accountant knows about trading and stuff. Does everybody understand this? I got an email years ago from a guy who's like, dude, I've been trading SPY for years and I'm going to kill somebody. After you told me this, I went back and did the math. He's like, it was like 10, 15 grand a year. I'm like, oh, all right now. So everybody got that? You're welcome. That was an Uncle Wiz tax tip. All right, now we're going to go over to SPY, and I'm going to learn with you because I don't trade this thing. But a double vertical needs violence. If you do trade SPY, it's like SPX, but you drop a decimal point. What are we at? 44.27. What's SPX? 44.43. So it's kind of close, but not. So here's what we have to do. If you believe by October 6th, we're going to have a rip your face off rally, you also believe it's not going to do that. Now, before I even build this trade, folks, know that between now and October 6th, the market will go down. You most likely, if you did the trade I'm going to map out, is going to be red. Why? Because between now and September 30th, we got Kabuki theater, folks. Matt Gaetz, and I'm going to impeach you, or McCarthy, and it's going to be a shit show. So this is why I'm telling you, maybe hold on to this trade in the bullpen, write it down, and get it ready. Because I don't think between now and September 30th, you're going to see this. The exact opposite is going to happen, maybe. Okay, but that's all out of the way. So this trade, we might have to wait a little bit. Maybe this time next week I'd look at it, but I'm covering it for training. What's the bottom here? Let me, you know what? I love looking at it over on this side. Let's go look at SPY. SPY. I mean, look at the drill bit today. We got a little drill bit down to 440. This is going to be tough for me to do, man. I have SPX numbers in my head right now. So what's this chop? 437-ish, this middle range here in between the 50. Let's go look at like 437 and a half-ish. Do they have something like that? SPY. October 6th. Let me open the strikes a little bit so we can see more of them. They do have a 437 and a half. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's put the basement in. All right. 437 and a half. When I sell a 437 and a half put, I turn into I'm an insurance company. I'm saying SPY isn't going to be below 437 and a half by that expiration. Between now and then, it probably will be below 437.5. I already warned you, but by the time this trade is supposed to expire, it stays above 437.5. What if I'm wrong? Well, why don't we buy what is called a downside put? If this is the floor, let's put a little basement underneath it, okay? Let's buy the 437 put underneath it, okay? This tactic is known as a bull. I'm bullish. I'm using puts, and the strikes are spread apart. The tactic on your screen right now is called a bull put spread. It's also called what? A credit spread. We're bringing in money to do this. Remember, when you sell something, you get paid, okay? Let's put some realistic contract amount in here. That's pretty realistic right there. Selling, and you know what? I'd prefer another Obama teachable moment here. It's funny, people ask me, like, why do you say it like that? That guy used that saying all the time, like, this is a teachable moment for us. So instead, because some of you trade with a broker that charges you what? A commission on a per contract basis. So 100, and I avoid as much as I can talking about commissions, folks, because I guarantee you, me and the hundreds of people in Full Throttle training have different brokers, different commissions. If you don't call your broker twice a year and go, I'm leaving. Why? I'm going over to broker X because they have better rates. Oh, hold on. Let me put you on hold and I'll talk to my manager. They'll put you on hold. They'll go play foosball for about 5 minutes, come back and go, guess what? We're going to hook you up with a different deal. Do it. I help build Options House. That's how it works. So if you are getting screwed on a per contract basis, do a dollar-wide strike. Okay? Let's look at like the 437, 436. Let's do something like that. Sell the 437 put, buy the 436, but not for 150 contracts. Do maybe half that amount. So you're not getting kicked in the gut with commissions. Okay? So selling 75 of the October 6, 437 puts, buying the 436s. Let's go up a little. No, let's do the dollar wide. Let's do the 438, 437 real quick. I just want to price this out and look at the risk. I like this one better. Sell 75 of the October 438 puts, buy the 437. It's a credit spread, bringing in 24 cents, which is $1,800. Now, before I even go to the next screen, folks, we're going to talk about bad. And this will answer whoever's question earlier today was like, do you send text alerts for closing trades? No, there's no point. Why? Because I'm briefing you right now before we even get into it where I'd potentially get out. So let's do it. Folks, when you sell this credit spread for 24 cents, you want the 24 cents, right? You want this trade, quote, to expire worthless. You want all 24 cents or $1,800. But in a couple seconds, I'm going to tell you, actually, you don't. You want to get out 7, 8, 9. But let's talk about the bad first. I'm a political science major, folks. I need easy math. Double this. Double that is 48 cents. Simply double the credit you take in, 48 cents, write that down and go. I would maybe close this trade if the S&P 500 starts going down and against my bull put spread, and this increases to 48 cents. That's a light in your trading cockpit, folks. 48 cents. Why is the S&P 500 going down? Should I close this trade at this point? It's a warning light in your cockpit. I haven't even placed this trade yet, and I told you where I'd maybe eject and get out of it to not take the max loss. Does everybody understand that? In a perfect world, we want all 24 cents. We want it to go to zero. We want the $1,800. But if the S&P starts descending for some reason, and this increases to double 48 cents, scratch your chin, look at what's going on and go, am I sticking with it or am I out? Okay? I haven't even talked about profit at all. I've only talked about bad. When would we maybe get out of this trade? Now, let's talk about good. Let's keep talking about bad. I'm going to click on snapshot analysis, and I want you to look at one place and one place only. If you don't look at the place that I tell you to look, I'm going to crack your knuckles like Sister Mary Catherine used to do to me at Blessed Sacrament in Margate, New Jersey. I want you to look at max potential loss. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Look at the sad face right here. Max potential loss, $5,700. Why did I tell you to do that? Do not ever look at max profit first. Of course you want to make $1,800 in a couple weeks. Who doesn't? Do you want to potentially lose $5,800? Hell no. Then don't look at the $1,800, man. So right now, $5,600 in risk is based on what? 75 contracts. You don't want to risk $5,700? You don't do 75 contracts. You want to risk double $5,700? You do 150 contracts. Folks, I am not you. For the model portfolio that we're looking at right now, based on 100 grand, my SOP, my standard operating procedure, not yours, is 5%. I do not want to risk more than 5% of my model portfolio on any one trade. Where'd you come up with that, Wiz? 32 years of doing this. As a youngin', there were trades I was in, I didn't know what the max loss was until I took it, and I'm like, oh my God, dumb me, young ensign in the Navy. That guy's dead. Me, I know my risk, right? You have to come up. I'll teach you my SOP as we go along in Full Throttle. You need to come up with your own. But again, you're getting the eavesdrop on what I'm doing. I'm not telling you what to do, folks. You sign for your jet. You sign for your portfolio. You are the PIC, the pilot in command, the trader, the TIC. You're the tick, trader in command. Now, once you put a check mark here and go, all right, that's an amount of money that I don't want to lose, but it ain't going to blow me out, right? Then and only then can you look up and go, all right, $1,800. We make money. I love this type of trade called a credit spread because we make money 3 out of 4 ways. What are the 3 ways? You see this dotted line right here? You see that dotted line right there? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the current price after hours of SPY. What's the first way we make money? Well, Wiz, SPY goes up. We make money. Ladies and gentlemen, SPY can even hang out. Wiz, we just flatline. You make money. What's the last way we make money? SPY can even go down a little bit as long as it stays above that little point right there, which is called what? The break even. Using at the money volatility in SPY options, there's a 72% probability of making $1,800. It's a pretty good looking trade, a nice high probability trade. What's the 1 out of 4 ways we lose money? Clearly, SPY implodes. Possibility, obviously. What's the possibility, Wiz? It's written right there. 26% probability of getting your ass kicked. But I just told you before we looked at this screen where we would potentially eject to avoid that max loss. In your Full Throttle training, the 8 briefs you're going to get access to when you become a member, I'm going to show you what are called the Greeks. I don't want your eyes to glaze over tonight, but I'm going to scroll down and show you that with this trade, we get theta. I was a Phi Delta Theta in college. We get what is called time decay, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Greek called, there's some Greeks in trading that is called theta. Look right down here. It is called theta, which means what? Time decay. Quick analogy. Down in Fort Lauderdale, there's a Ferrari dealer. If you have your midlife crisis and walk into that Ferrari dealer and say, give me the 250 grand Ferrari, man, midlife crisis, I'm in it. You give the guy 250 grand, you peel out of the parking lot and you're driving home and you call your beautiful bride, Susie, just bought a 250 grand Ferrari. And she's like, yeah, that's great. Your midlife crisis is over. Take it back. being the good husband that I am, I do a U-turn and go back to the Ferrari dealer. I get out and I tell the dealer, hey, man, Susie ain't too happy with this. Can you buy the Ferrari back? What's he going to say? Yeah, Wiz, I got you. It's now worth 200 grand, baby. Time decay, folks, eats away at a trade. Time decay works for who? A seller. That guy sold me that car. He loves time decay. When you buy something, you don't like time decay, folks. It works against you, right? So I want you to look down here where it says theta, where my arrow is. Watch as this trade goes on in time. Theta is positive. Every day that goes by, you make money. Matter of fact, at TOPGUN Options, we have a saying, unched on the day, unchanged on the day equals time decay. Meaning if SPY sits here, it ain't doing anything, folks. You make money on theta, on time decay. This is why being a stock investor or trader is for chumps. You make money 3 ways trading stocks, don't you? You buy it, you hope it goes up. If it doesn't, you pray. How stupid can you be? If you own stock and it's sitting there not doing anything, that's dumb. In an options position, when you sell something, if it's sitting there, cha-ching, cha-ching, every day that goes by, you make money with something called theta. So I love doing what are called credit spreads because we get theta. Okay. So this, ladies and gentlemen, would be a credit spread, bringing in a credit of $1,800. Okay. The 438, 437. We're bringing in $1,800. Remember that. Now, what do? So you and I together, we just built the floor. We just put in the floor down here. Well, Wiz, between now and October 6th, not only do I think SPY ain't going down, I think we're going to get a relief rally. Washington, for all its faults, will get a deal and the market will rally. All right, we just put in the basement. Let's put in a ceiling. Let's go buy a bull call spread using some of the money we just brought in from somebody else, right? So what's the 50-day moving average on SPY? What's that say? Even though I have my glasses on, I can't see shit. 446. Let's go buy a bull call spread. Let's go out October 6th. Let's buy a bull call spread. So let's buy the 446 calls. Okay. Now you could just stop here. I mean, how much do we bring in? $1,800? I don't know. Let's put, no, that's way too many. Let's buy 5. Oh, look at this. So ladies and gentlemen, you could buy 5 of the October 6th 446 calls for $3.65, and you would be coming out of pocket $1,800. I just brought in $1,800. I'm coming out $1,825. So net, you're out of pocket $25. On what this trade would be called, folks, I call it a burner trade. Why? Because it looks like me going down the runway in my F-18. It just goes straight up. Why? Because technically, we're not putting a ceiling on it. If you just buy calls, you ready for this? When I click on Analyze, what's the max potential profit? It's Buzz Lightyear, folks. To infinity and beyond. Look at that drawing right there. That's me going down the runway, 400 knots at the end of the runway, boom. Okay? What's the max potential loss? The most you can lose, folks, when you buy call options is what? What you paid for them. So this, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen would be what is called a burner trade. Obviously, you put the bull put spread on here as well. Okay? Let me just do that real quick. Add option. It was the puts. It was the, what was it, folks? 448, right? Sell the 448, buy the 447. You guys keep me honest. My memory's not that good. 438, 437. How many contracts did I do? Was it 50 or something? God, short-term memory loss. I just and I never trade this thing. 75? Okay, good. Thank you. Was it 75? Thanks. Let me throw 50 in here right now and just see what the risk would be. All right, yeah, let's do 75. 75, 75. I love it. So there you go. Max potential loss, $4,900 and infinity. Of course, that's physically impossible. Between now and October 6th, the market might go up. It ain't going up to infinity, but they can't technically put a lid on it. Does that make sense? Wrong strikes for the puts. Let me go look. Sell the what were the strikes again? 448. Or no. What? Oh my God, man. I don't trade SPY. That's why I'm confused. 438, 38, 37. Jesus, that was stupid. Yes. 4. Let me scroll down here. Where was it? 38, 37. God, these strikes are so weird to me. I've been trading SPX for decades, folks. Never traded this SPY. So my apologies for my stupidity. All right, there we go. That makes sense. Look, we're coming out of pocket $25. You already said that, Wiz. Thank you for bearing with me on trading in a name that I don't normally do. So look at this picture right now. This technically isn't a double vertical. I call it an afterburner trade. Here's the bull put spread, and here's the long calls. Whoosh. Guess what? Why don't we, since whoosh isn't going to happen, why don't we put a lid on these calls? Again, 20 minutes ago, I just made fun of people who are straight call buyers. Technically, we're not straight call buyers since somebody else funded them. Why don't we sell an upside call above this thing? Let's add option. Let's sell. What did I have? 5 of the, let's go a couple dollars apart from that. The 448. And I'm just spitballing here. Now, look at what I did. I turned it from going out of pocket $25 to bringing in a credit of $1,400. But what did I do as well? I capped my potential profits, didn't I? Okay. I capped my potential profits to a couple grand. Right? So I actually, you know what? In this case, I think almost the burner trade's a little bit better. I actually, yeah. Looking at SPY strikes, I would do this. Now, again, warning Will Robinson, I would not do this right now. Period. First of all, the market's closed. Second of all, we got Jerome tomorrow. So, as I've told, let me grab a screenshot of this. I'm going to put this on the replay page. Because I like this. Let me grab a screenshot of this. I actually like this trade. I do not like it as a for a rate now. Yeah, you know, I do less contracts. You know, you're risking $7,500 here. Maybe we scale down. That's why I put 50 in here initially. I had 50 on the brain because I like this a little bit better because it brings in the risk. Yeah. Now this is better. We're getting there. I like this one a little bit better. Doing 50 contracts for the bull put spread and then funding, using that money to go buy 5 upside calls. This ultimately ends up coming out of pocket $625. Okay. So instead of double vertical training, so let me just finish what would have been double vertical training. You could put a lid on top of those long calls. You could sell some higher strike calls to bring in a little coin to help fund those calls. But this technically, the difference between a bullish double vertical that we are going to talk about and this burner trade is just a lid. And actually talking about, I think we're going to get a pretty significant relief rally. I actually like this one a little bit better. I don't like trading SPY, guys. You saw me fumble around through the strikes. It's like me hopping out of my F-18 Hornet that I've been flying for 15 years to go jump in an F-15 Eagle. First of all, it's Air Force, and they're barely on our side. So I like this. So if you like this, folks, obviously there's a little camera icon on the top of the window you're looking at me in. Take a screenshot of this if you kind of like this type of trade, and let me bring up the risks slide or the analytics of it right there. Let's talk about real quick trade management. I already talked about trade management with what? The bull put spread. Double the credit you take in is maybe where you eject. And then how about profit? 7, 8, 9. If you are looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit on the credit you took in for the bull put spread, close it. Pigs get slaughtered. Don't sit there. Don't turn a 70, 80, 90% winning trade into a 100% loser. You'll do it once and you'll be furious at yourself and you'll never do it again. So how about not doing that? We had a good discussion in the Hunters this afternoon about that. A couple folks. It was a great discussion. Kenneth, would you ever sell SPX $5 wide bull put spread and buy SPY calls? No, Kenneth, I don't trade SPY. I would do a bull put spread on SPX and buy SPX calls. I wouldn't split SPX and SPY. I would just do SPX. But for a guy that hasn't traded SPY, I don't think ever in his life, this looks like something that would be doable. Again, warning, Will Robinson, the only reason I'm covering SPY is because the SPX options were refreshing or something's going on with the SIBO or I don't know. I would have preferred to have done this demo with the SPX options. Great question, William. He said, hey, Wiz, when would you take profit on the calls? I will tell you, William, if I can make 50% to 100% on anything, I close it. Now, I know people who are like, hey, I bought some long calls and they're up like 300%. I'm like, when are you closing them? Didn't you hear me? They're up 300%. I'm like, I don't give a shit. When are you going to? I've seen people do that type of thing. Like, man, my calls are like printing money right now. And then a day later they imploded. I'm like, what are you doing? So, William, my working thesis, to put a floor underneath it, is if I buy long calls in this case and they go up 50%, I'm done. But, William, I'll also look at, you ready for this? Velocity. Let's say we're in this burner trade on SPY. Great news, government shutdown, peace in Ukraine, Jesus just came back to life, and the market's ripping. I'll let them fly a little bit, but I'm pretty damn Johnny on the spot to get ready to close them. If I'm looking at 100% profit in some long calls, has anybody ever in the history of anybody gone broke taking a profit at 100%? So once again, I already just said it. If we have to do a shot every time I say this, we'd all be dead. Pigs get slaughtered. That's my working thesis. I've seen that there's a graveyard of retail traders full of people who are like, I bought some calls and they were up like 500%, and then I didn't close them. Why not? So before you get into it, William, write it on your trade plan, something along the lines like, hey, man, if these calls start printing money, I'm going to close them. Or you ready for this, William? How about you write down on your trade plan, I'm going to close 3 of them and let the other 2 run. If maybe it'll keep running. Does that make sense? So you don't have to keep them all together. I've done that before in a burner trade like this. I'm like, whoa, those things are blindingly green and they're printing money. I'm going to take a little money off the table right now. I'll let the drinking money. The rest of them are going to fly. I got no problems with that. So, William, maybe you kind of stagger your mentality, right? But I'm telling you, folks, whenever you're doing any sort of, listen to me. First of all, I can't stand the word debit. It's like, ew, give me your debit card or we're going to debit your account. The word debit just, So if I paid for something, in this case, long calls, I technically didn't pay for them. Somebody else helped me pay for them. But here's what I'm getting at. If you ever just buy long calls and you're up 50% or 100%, why wouldn't you close them, man? So, very long answer to your short question. I that's my basis, 50 to 100. Anything north of that, you're getting greedy. Okay. Final point on a burner trade, folks, is this. If you get a violent move in the direction of your trade like this, what would you close? What should you close first? I just kind of gave you the answer. You should close whatever the debit was. Holy crap, Wiz, relief rallies taken off. Close the calls. You could keep the bull put spread along a little bit more. Why? Because it loves what? Theta. What doesn't love theta? Long calls. Those calls you bought, every day that goes by, theta is eating away at them. The bull put spread you sold, theta is loving that. So if you get an initial violent move in the direction of your double vertical or burner trade in this case, close whatever theta doesn't like. Go on, take the money and run. Okay? I did this live today, folks. You can look at my order screen right here. We closed the burner trade. It wasn't a burn trade. It was a bearish double vertical, and it was fantastic. It was a month to no, year to date. Okay. Something's wrong with these platforms. Okay. Jesse, so is it okay to convert this SPY trade to SPX when ready to fire? Jesse, I would not do this as an SPY trade. That was all over my glasses. I would do this. We're going to talk about this. You ready? Shameless sales technique out of Wiz. And it ain't shameless. You need to join right now. Jesse, we're going to put on a bullish double vertical or a burner trade on SPX. Most likely next week. Well, I want to get through Jerome tomorrow, and I want to see the speaker and Chuck Schumer duke it out for the next week and a half. I'm going to have an SPX, either burner trade or double vertical, on the flight deck ready to launch. So if you ain't a member by now, you're not getting that. Tomorrow I'm shutting the doors, and you're going to miss out on a double vertical. I hate when guys and gals in these presentations use the terms free money, but I'm going to use it because that double vertical from last week was free money, and the double vertical when, not if, the government either stays open or reopens, the market's going to rally. That's free money, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't hard. I'm an idiot, and I can do this stuff. So, all right, couple more questions, and then I smell my pizza, and I'm famished. This was a long day. Matt, what is eject for the long calls if the trade goes against us? Oh, William, you caught me. I don't like answering that one because I almost let them ride, man. 50%, William, is my rule of thumb. If I don't start getting a violent move in the direction that I think, if those calls go down 50%, that whatever I paid out of pocket for those, if I lost about half, I start looking at them going, all right. But to be honest with you, William, I also look at long calls like those as a lotto ticket, to be honest with you. That's a sunk cost. Why? Because sometimes, William, in some of these trades, guess what happens on expiration? Breaking news. Jesus, Ganesh, Buddha, and Muhammad have returned to Earth, and they're the president, and the market pops that day. So I almost, William, look at long calls in a burner trade as they're paid for, so let them ride. So that, this is why you want to join, William, because I'll talk live through my mindset of all that stuff. But almost, I knew what I was going to lose in those calls, William, if they went against me, and I'm okay with that loss. That's why I tend to call them what? Lottery tickets. David, thanks, Wiz. I'll gather my shekels and go for a year. Awesome, David. Shit hot, man. Welcome aboard. David is going to do the annual membership. Here's the link, folks. And like I said, my phone vibrating a couple times throughout the brief, which means we don't have 21 left. We have less than 21. We will close the doors when we're finished. And nobody else does this, folks. Opens the doors in a live trade brief, showed you trades, our snipers and everything like that. And I'm fired up. So welcome aboard, David. Good to have you, my brother. Let's see if your homework is posted. Boom. Shit hot, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. This is your homework, folks. There she is. Rachel Newer from, I'm going to like it already. I did it. This is your homework. Do me a favor, on the couch the rest of the night or laying in bed, watch the podcast. This is your homework for tomorrow. She is brilliant. She was the author of this book. She will tell you, MDMA, we knock it out, man. This is a great podcast. I'd strongly recommend the book too. The Healing Power of MDMA. And again, if you don't know me, old whiz from 5 years ago, if I ever thought I would be in a full throttle sample training session talking about psychedelic assisted therapy, I would have kicked my own ass. But that guy died on the floor of a house in Mexico with Marcus Luttrell and Jared Taylor and a famous NFL player. That dude died and left a better guy. Also in the handouts, it is right there. Look in the handouts over on the right. You have some reading to do tonight on the REIT. This, ladies and gentlemen, will give you commit criteria as to why I could not be more long-term bullish on the psychedelic space. Unbelievable. Look at this, folks. In the past 3 years in the psychedelic space, $2.7 billion have been invested. Did you see Stevie Cohen from Axe Capital? Axe Capital is pumping a shit ton of money into the healing space. Billionaire investor Steve Cohen buys 19 million shares. I'm not going to steal my thunder for tomorrow's brief. Get long. I will go get my pizza. Thank you, William. Clearly I got to stop. I'm very passionate about this. I love sitting here and helping people train and everything like that. Good stuff. Welcome aboard, David, and everybody else who's jumping on right now. This replay will be posted after I eat my pizza. If you didn't see the rest of the stuff that we've done so far this week, it is on this page, but we're going to close tomorrow, folks, or Thursday. We're going to close Thursday or when we get our 50. And we're on pace to probably coincide right where I was going to close anyway, which is pretty cool. Daniel's eating pizza right now. Look at that. It's a Tuesday pizza night. All right. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the ways, if you join right now and you got a question for me, you can jump right here in the Hunters and ask that question. If not, you're going to have to wait until tomorrow. Okay. Rick, thanks for posting. I'll hang on to my Cybin shares. Dude, Stevie Cohen doesn't throw, he doesn't gamble. This guy, he's a smart dude. So, all right, folks, great night. You have a great night. I'm going to go watch this. Even though I did it, I want to see how it turned out, the editing. But watch this, The Healing Power of MDMA, and we will get long-term bullish tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. in the psychedelic space. Okay? Welcome aboard to all the new members. And like I said, watch the Getting Started video if you are a new member and you just kind of need a little brief of where everything is and how we do stuff here, okay? I think you can watch this even if you're not a member. So here's the Getting Started brief if you just want to check out what it looks like when you become a member. All right, I got to go. I'm starving. Have a great rest of your night. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, which we are. We made a shitload of money in the past week with our hedges. Isn't that great? You can make money as the market goes down. Quick reminder, my personal portfolio has exploded as the market goes down. But you guys have seen this already. I got to go. Have a great rest of your night. God bless. Fights on. Namaste and basi basi. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. God bless.